we're going to see some extreme volatility. And I just talked to Connor Kenny, a crypto OG, about what he's doing with his altcoins in the next 24 hours and moving forward. We do have a big event happening here very soon, so if you want to go follow his channel, I'll leave it linked underneath the video. You can check it out. If you want to trade crypto, check out BYDeFi. Sign up now. You can get access to this great event. And if you've signed up with me in the past, you can get access to this great event. You can trade and earn $10,000 worth of XRP. We just did this with Bitcoin. You don't have to do anything really. You just trade like you normally would. Hit join now and you can start trading. And I've come to realize a lot of people think that they're signed up under me. I think people probably hear about BYDeFi, then go research or download the app and they forget to like put in my code or use the link. You don't get access to this. However, if you want to be under me and you're already trading on the platform, check out my Telegram. I have someone that directly works with/at BYDeFi, and they can verify you on your UID and switch you in so that you can get these exclusive rewards just like this. Also, if you trade on some other platform, consider trading on BYDeFi because they are a great platform, great liquidity, a lot of different options. Check it out. I love trading on the platform.
Okay, so what I'm seeing in the market right now for altcoins, right? So things are heating up. What am I doing for my positions? Where do I think this market's going to go? So first of all, I'm watching the Ethereum chart. I'm watching for the break. The break sits at approximately where is it? It's about 3,900, but let's call it 4K, right? If Ethereum can break 4K, then I think that we're going to start to rise. I think the altcoins as a whole, the whole moat will start to rise together. I don't think this alt season will be like previous alt seasons. I don't think it's going to be a case of, just shooting fish in a barrel and everything's going to rise. I think I'm going to have to be very select with what I'm holding. Right now, I have basically my risk curve of my position. So the spot bag, the number one position in the spot bag is Bitcoin. I have X amount of Bitcoin I will hold forever. Anything above that, I will slowly start to take profits. I've already slowly started to take profits from it. As Bitcoin continues to rise, I'll slowly start to take profits from it. Now, moving on the risk curve, we have the low leverage trading position. In that position, I hold Solana, Ethereum, XRP, and Sui on 3x. So my thought process on that, all of those, I believe they could do a 3.33 infinity X, right? The spot number. So if they do that, I get a 10x on my margin, right? When will I start taking profits from those positions? Those are very simple. When I see what I consider a decent move, right? So I've already seen that. The positions are all in significant profits, and I've already closed out about 25% of all of them. How do I define a significant move? I look at the dominance, and I look at the altcoin season index, and I look at the price of Ethereum, right? And I look at Bitcoin. So first of all, is Bitcoin holding? Because most people don't realize that Bitcoin can actually hold or go down slowly while altcoins still rally, right? That's what I've seen. That's what I've noticed. Maybe I'm wrong this time. Don't know. But okay, so Bitcoin's holding steady. It's broken resistance and it's holding steady. Cool. Check. Number one. Number two, where are we in the altcoin season index? Okay, we're about halfway. At the time of taking profits, we were breaking out. So, okay, that's cool. Bitcoin's dominance starting to fall. And Ethereum starting to move upwards, right? So with that information, I don't know if we're going to continue. So this is a risky position. I'm going to take some profits, 25% out. Now I relax. I put my stop loss at break even. I'm safe. So now you get it, right? Anyone watching this, you know what I mean by safe. It's not safe. I can still lose the money. But I basically can't lose the money. I got the stop loss and the stop loss works and all of that stuff, right? So now I'm sitting tight and I'm waiting for a next big move to the upside. The next time I'll take profits on those is probably between now, depending on how euphoric tomorrow gets, right? Or how un-euphoric tomorrow gets. And when and if we hit the top of the altcoin season index, right? If we hit the top of that, I'll probably take some more profits. Then, now that we're at about halfway, in the last couple of weeks, I've opened higher risk altcoin plays, still large cap altcoins, but with higher leverage. So I am yet to really start to venture into the lower cap spot market, the meme coins. I think it's a great opportunity, but I don't want to dabble in it yet until I see the liquidity a lot, right? I still might take small positions. I still have positions that I've had before, but I'm not taking big positions in meme coins and that because I just don't see the liquidity. I don't see the risk, right? For me, I'd rather position myself in the lights of Cardano, Casper, Doge, DOT, AVAX, and most recently Epic, right? Those are the things that I decided to take the 10x long positions on. And how do I deal with those? Those are isolated 10x positions. So I put in, for example, $1,000 on isolated 10x, and that is the risk I'm taking to have exposure to, for example, $10,000 of of that coin. So for $1,000, I'm buying $10,000 of Cardano, and my risk is $1,000 because it's isolated, and I am just waiting. Once we break, if we break the altcoin season index of the 75 and higher, if Bitcoin's dominance falls significantly, and if those positions rise, I will just close them without emotion. 50%, 25%, 25%, like that. And I won't get it all out. Like I'll probably, and then they'll just get liquidated, right? That's just what will happen. But I'll be taking those positions out when we reach that euphoric stage. So I don't believe that I'm going to be able to time the top, just as I don't believe I'm going to be able to time the bottom. So what do? Based on the sentiment of the market, I slowly start taking things out. As we sit right now, the sentiment tells me we're 50%, or the TA tells me we're 50% to what could be an alt season. We're not quite in euphoria, but people are already getting excited. So I'm already taking some profits. I had the most risky trade that I opened because we saw that euphoria was in Dogecoin. 10x, large margin in 48 hours. It got 100% move, which was a 10% move in Dogecoin, but because it was a 10x, we got 100% move. I closed the entire position. I closed 50% of the position, taking out my entire margin that I had used for the trade. I then waited, and I waited patiently. The price came all the way down. I had to close it because it started to go into a loss, and I wanted to make sure that I was confirmed with my profit. I waited then until I saw some signs of it making a bounce, and I opened the trade again, knowing exactly how much money I stand to lose. And that's how I'm seeing the altcoin market and how I'm playing it right now.
Yeah, and you mentioned euphoria tomorrow, or maybe depression tomorrow. Maybe you can give us an idea. I think we've both talked about on our channel, but what's the big event that's happening tomorrow?
The FOMC?
Yes, and we have President Trump releasing the research on what they're going to do with the crypto stockpile too. So he's in the past tweeted that they wanted like XRP and Solana and Ethereum to be in the treasury, and then it just kind of went away. He hasn't talked about it again, and this report is done by his crypto committee or something, kind of advising him on what to do moving forward. So we could see a lot of volatility, I think, in the next 24 hours. And what I like you talked about there, that you haven't quite dove into the smaller cryptos. We've talked about this before, but we both have said that we think we can get better returns, and it's safer to invest in like 3x Cardano or 5x XRP versus going into those smaller cryptos. And yeah, I think just in general, there are so many more people that have traded leverage this cycle than last cycle, because they realize that there's like, I don't want to say a Ponzi, like just a bunch of Ponzi's in the bottom, 90% of crypto, but it kind of is. There are a couple gems that come through, but compare that to just trading on Bitcoin, and you know exactly what's going to happen.
Bitcoin is not, in my opinion, isn't going anywhere. Solana's not going anywhere. XRP is not going anywhere. They may collapse massively, right? But they're not going to get rugged, which is the risk of these meme coins and these really low caps. You don't know what the team's doing. You don't know all of this. It's not to say that I'm not going to dabble in them, but I'm far more comfortable 3xing Solana, right, than I am trying to find a meme coin on Solana in this moment in time, because it's just the liquidity is just not there.
Yeah. And then the other big risk is just, I guess, the exchanges, but I still consider that so much less of a risk because so few have gone bankrupt that have been leverage exchanges. That's why I also trade on multiple exchanges and talk about that. Like if you guys just trade on one, trade on a couple just to be careful in case something happens, or Coinbase goes down every time there's any kind of significant pump.
Yeah,
so
I just use a different, like I've mentioned, there's different strategies. For each account, I just employ like a slightly different strategy, and I use that for that trading account, for that trading exchange.